Well, this is big news you probably didn't hear about. President Trump has repealed a disastrous Biden era resource management plan in North Dakota. And joining us now, we have the two senators from North Dakota, Senators Kevin Cramer and John Hoeven. Good to see you both. Thank you so much for being here. So, Senator Cramer, how big a deal is this? Because it's not headline news compared to government shutdown and stuff, but this could really affect people's lives.
It's really big news because it goes all the way back to the 1996 Contract with America and the Congressional Review Act, which gave Congress a little more authority to overturn bad rules. What's significant about this rule was for the first time we're applying it to what our resource management plans. Those are the management plans of federal lands that the Bureau of Land Management under law is required to create. But in the case of North Dakota's and several other states, but North Dakota's in particular, they took a bunch of federal lands and took them out of the possibility of production of resources like oil, gas, coal. And one of the standards of FLPMA, of the federal land management plans, is that it has to utilize multiple use. Multiple as in many. In fact, the law itself says as many as are available, really. So the previous administration tried to block all of that. We asked the Government Accountability Office if this constitutes a rule. They said it does. We introduced the Congressional Review Act and overturned it, and the president signed it yesterday.
And of course, it's all going to boil down to the consumer, Senator Hoeven. And Senator Trump talked about that yesterday. I think we have a clip from that. Roll it.
One of the most important ways we're defeating inflation is by unleashing American energy. Oil prices are coming down very substantially, energy prices. And honestly, with that, everything comes down.
And it's not just inflation, Senator Hoeven. This issue can affect landowners, of course, ranchers, farmers, you name it. Of course, energy producers as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Biden administration taxed more, spent more, and regulated more. All those things lead to inflation. At one point under the Biden administration, it was 9%. During Biden's time in office, prices overall went up more than 20%. And now, because President Trump and Republican Congress are working to reduce taxes, reduce spending, and reduce regulation, like we're talking about right here, you get more supply, and that's what helps bring prices down, inflation down, which is why now we're down to 3%, okay? And energy, like we're talking about here, that's a component of every product that's made.
Everything.
So when the Biden administration sets up a rule where they prevent us from producing energy here in North Dakota, where we produce oil, gas, electricity, and nobody does it with better environmental stewardship, and they take us out of production, of course they were driving prices up. And that's why our CRA rescinded that, and we're going to produce more energy here at home, both onshore and off, and that is going to translate into more affordability. That's the solution. Yep. The Biden administration was the problem. The Trump administration and the Republican Congress are now providing the solution to address those higher prices and inflation.
And Senator Cramer, we are right now in the midst of a major change in the way our economies do business through AI. I mean, that is going to be one of the biggest changes. It's on at least on par with what we saw in the 80s with the technological revolution, the things that advanced, the cell phones and the computers that we use, et cetera. Right. But it's going to take a massive amount of energy. And I didn't see anything that the Biden administration did that was done in preparation of that great need that we saw. Did you? I mean, we weren't going to get it from windmills or from solar energy. There was no attempt on their part to really prepare for this change that the Trump administration is now preparing for.
Just the opposite. I mean, they're subsidizing energy that's not reliable, that's not very productive, it's not efficient, and shutting down all the reliable, efficient energy like gas-fired power plants, coal-fired power power plants. But what's happened, David, is that the demand for energy is so great, as per your point about AI as an example, that now everybody's looking at energy as a reliability issue, not just an environmental issue. You can produce good, clean, 24-hour a day, 7-day a week baseload electricity using all of these tools. And by the way, a lot of the minerals are under the ground in places like North Dakota and Wyoming and Montana, and all of those were off limits. And you mentioned agriculture, really important point. Our farmers and ranchers in particularly graze a lot on federal lands. That's one of the many multiple uses that they were, that this rule threatened.
Yeah, well, God bless them for that. I got to say, Senator Hoeven, I can't understand when you look at what's happening in a place like England, where they pay 4 times the amount that we do for energy, 4 times as much, because they're still stuck on all these green rules. They're run by the Labor government now. And so we have clear examples in front of us. There must be Democrats that you deal with in the Senate who understand the need to expand more in our energy programs, lest we become like what they have in the UK. Are you getting bipartisan support for this?
Well, it'd be good to get more. One of the things we're working on is permitting reform. You've heard about that, David, where we actually say whether you're doing an environmental assessment or an environmental impact statement, you can only take like a year, or for an EIS, environmental impact statement, at most 2 years to get it done. So we can not only cite these energy projects and, like you say, produce more energy here at home with the latest, greatest technology, but all our other infrastructure needs as well. Roads, bridges, ports, everything else. All those things make our economy function better. That means more supply to meet the demand. That means more affordability for every single consumer.
Senator Cramer, I got to switch gears for a second now on whether or not we're going to go through another government shutdown as a result of these Obamacare bailouts that the Democrats want to continue with ad infinitum. What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, each side has had their shot at a bill to address the affordability of insurance, and they both went down. Hopefully now we're in a position where both sides can come together and find a solution where there's at least some compromise. We'll see. It's going to be a busy week next week in the Senate, and then of course we have till January 30th to either fund the government, look at a continuing resolution, or another government shutdown. And I would certainly hope that there's no one that thinks a shutdown is a good idea.
Senator Hoeven, is there a way? I know the filibuster serves certain really good purposes. You only have to watch Mr. Smith Goes to Washington to see how that works out. But can you streamline a way of exempting the government shutdown vote from a filibuster, just on that issue alone?
I was actually up at the White House twice this week and talked to the president about different ideas. For example, in the confirmation process, we did streamline that. And you've seen now, we've actually reduced, I think, a record amount, or approved a record amount of nominees, because we did do some streamlining of that process. So, we need to look for ways to do that. As far as right now, though, we have set the appropriations process up to go through regular order. We need to finish that out. And if we do that, if we can keep getting that done, that really takes shutdown off the table, so that Senator Schumer can't try to push us into another shutdown. And it's very important that we finish out that regular order process.
Would you both favor that, Senator Cramer? Would you favor a way of limiting filibuster on a government shutdown issue?
Well, I would be interested in eliminating the ability for one senator to obstruct. That's a lot of power that has been abused in recent years far too often. I do think that filibuster needs to be maintained, even for appropriations. We can get 60 votes on an appropriations bill, but we have to be able to get on the appropriations bill. So I think there's some ways to do that while maintaining the integrity of the filibuster.
Well, it's going to be a busy week. I hope you guys have had a chance to buy some Christmas presents, because you're not going to next week, clearly. North Dakota Senators Kevin Cramer and John Hoeven, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Christmas. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David. You too.
You too. Thanks, David.
Thank you.